Let's jump right into today's explainer, because we are looking at something absolutely profound. We hear about the AI revolution all the time, right? Usually it's all doom and gloom about job displacement or some sci-fi technological singularity. But what if the secret to surviving and actually thriving in the AI era isn't about writing better code? What if it's about looking back to ancient philosophy? Today, we're unpacking scholar Choi Won-Hyuk's truly fascinating blueprint for human survival. He argues that by giving our mental models a major upgrade, using some of humanity's oldest frameworks for harmony, we can actually build an economy where humans and AI don't just coexist, they actively elevate each other.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our intellectual map for today. 1. The modern paradox. 2. 4 modes of correlative thinking. 3. Won-Hyuk's Huajing theory. And 4. Building a symbiotic economy.
Section 1. The Modern Paradox. The Crisis of Freedom and Economics.
Look, before we can even talk about the future, we have to take a really honest, kind of urgent look at where we are right now. The socioeconomic systems that got us here, they're stalling out. The author captures this perfectly, stating, money is both a treasury of human freedom and a yoke upon that freedom, a naughty existence that cannot be untangled by anything other than circulation. That just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Wealth literally frees us, but it can also trap us. When money or even ideas stop circulating, it becomes a yoke around our necks. We desperately need a new way of thinking to get things moving again.
You can really see this tension when we compare where we started to where we are now. Modernity's initial promise was all about attaining this ultimate human freedom. But, well, today's reality, that original goal has severely faded. By chasing isolated, hyper-individualized freedom, we've inadvertently triggered lost economic motivation, collapsed ethics, and an absolute crisis for our environment. We tried to find freedom by putting everything into separate little boxes, and paradoxically, we just ended up boxing ourselves in.
Section 2. 4 modes of correlative thinking, a cognitive toolkit for the AI era.
So, what does this all mean for getting unstuck? We need correlative thinking. Think of this as a vital cognitive strategy for the AI era. It's designed to overcome all that intellectual gridlock by seeing interconnectedness rather than isolation. It is literally a mental upgrade. If we want to survive alongside AI, we absolutely cannot afford to think in silos anymore. We've got to train our brains to look at the relationships between things, not just the isolated things themselves.
And the author gives us a clear 4-step process for this mental upgrade. Step 1 is stereoscopic, or IPCHE. This means looking at a problem in 3D, from multiple angles at once, instead of just taking a flat, one-sided view. Step 2 is cyclical, San Juan, realizing that things don't just move in straight lines, right? They circulate, they return, they feed into each other. Step 3 is empathy, Gonggam, feeling that emotional resonance and shared human experience. And step 4 is convergence, Jung-up. This is where you bring it all together. It's like moving from staring at a flat photograph to watching a moving film to actually feeling the emotions of the characters, and then finally, directing the whole masterpiece yourself.
Section 3. Won-Hyuk's Huajing theory, the ancient philosophical engine.
Now we turn to Huajing. This is an ancient Korean philosophical theory developed by the Buddhist monk Won-Hyuk, and it focuses entirely on the harmonization of disputes and the cyclical integration of opposing forces. So the crucial point here is that Huajing is not just your standard run-of-the-mill compromise. It's not two sides grudgingly giving up half of what they want. No, it's about actively harmonizing opposites, finding the absolute validity in opposing arguments, and synergistically weaving them together into a much higher truth.
It's actually fascinating how this works in practice. Won-Hyuk used a 4-gate system, and the source maps this perfectly onto our modern economic tensions. The suchness gate, which is about seeking our truest unconditioned self, maps directly to our modern drive for freedom. The pure land gate, the shared ideal, maps to community. The arising and ceasing gate, basically the daily physical grind of existence, maps to labor. And the 3 natures gate, which handles how value is evaluated, maps to distribution. We've got these ancient tools that are uniquely equipped to solve our most cutting-edge problems.
Section 4. Building a symbiotic economy. Navigating the AI future for cyclical integration.
This brings us to the ultimate goal of the source material, the symbiotic connective economy. This is where we inject those theoretical mindsets and ancient philosophies directly into the reality of modern markets. It is an AI-era economic model grounded completely in that 4-gate cyclical principle of Huajing. Simply put, it's an economy that intentionally connects us rather than divides us, creating a cycle where everybody benefits from the overall growth of the system.
To actually pull this off, we've got an actionable blueprint with 4 practical tasks. First,
Harmonize freedom and community. Second, harmonize labor and distribution. Third, resolve ideological conflicts. And fourth, overcome the environmental crisis. Let's break down exactly how we tackle these.
Task 1 tackles freedom and community. Look, right now the dominant narrative is human versus AI, right? We see it as an oppositional threat coming for our jobs and our freedom. But with correlative thinking, we shift that to human and AI, a mutually complementary relationship. Actually, when AI and humans support each other, human economic motivation isn't destroyed at all, it's actively revived anew. We are freed up to do higher-level creative and community-focused work.
Task 2 is all about labor and distribution. The source lays down a really clear economic ethics baseline for the AI era. The benefits of technological progress must be fairly distributed across society as a whole, period. If AI is going to skyrocket productivity, that wealth can't just be hoarded. Applying Huajing here means ensuring that as tech advances, the economic floor for the entire community gets raised equitably. To put that into perspective, it means your livelihood is actively enhanced by AI, not replaced by it.
Task 3 focuses on resolving ideological conflict, and this brilliantly illustrates the real power of Huajing. You see, an economics of Huajing doesn't just erase our differences. It strictly requires us to acknowledge the valid core of each ideology, whether left, right, or center, and integrate them cyclically. It's about finding the fundamental truths in different perspectives and making them work together, instead of just fighting until one side totally destroys the other.
To show that this isn't just some pipe dream, the author points out Korea's rich cultural tradition of this exact kind of cyclical integration. Think of bibimbap. It is literally the perfect metaphor. You've got all these distinct ingredients, the warm rice, the crisp veggies, the spicy gochujang sauce. They don't just melt into some gray paste. They maintain their unique identities. But when you mix them harmoniously, the whole shebang becomes this masterfully delicious single dish. That same principle of harmonious mixing is what drives the global success of the Korean wave and historically the trifold union of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. We can take this exact same recipe and apply it to our global economy. Which brings us to the ultimate question we have to answer. Will humanity remain stubbornly opposed to the AI revolution, just trapped in our old silos? Or can we use stereoscopic, cyclical, empathetic, and convergent thinking to actively integrate it? Can we leverage this ancient wisdom to build a truly symbiotic, connective economy where technology and human freedom both flourish? The blueprint is right here in our hands. But the choice of what we build next, well, that's entirely up to us. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep questioning, keep learning, and start connecting the dots in your own life.